So the last few days, I have noticed that I don't know if it's in the air. Remember that song by Phil Collins? I can feel it falling in the air. You know, it must be in the air because everybody is setting it off on this whole children thing. Now, let me just say this. We already know black women are blamed for everything, right? So, and many black women are like, I don't want to have children. I'm tired of it, this, that, and the other. I get it. But this is happening around the world. So, the other day, I think it was yesterday, maybe. I don't remember what day it was. I saw this TikTok, and it was this Chinese woman. She got on and she was mouthing over something someone had said, but she basically said, "F them kids and F you too." And I was like, well, oh my. I mean, clutch the pearls. I just like, well, what is happening here? And basically, in her captions, she was talking about how, like the Chinese government basically, they told us for years not to have these children. So, and you know how like they really wanted them to have just the boys, and so they didn't have these children. These women were getting used to being financially independent without relying on men. Because when you typically have a bunch of children, it's like you're not getting the opportunity to work and better yourself, right? Well, I shouldn't say better yourself in terms of working, but you want to grow yourself, you want to explore things, you want to do things. And you are reliant on, the your husband or whatever, your boyfriend or whatever. I don't know, depending on what you believe in. And men like women to be like that, insecure ones anyway. But what happened was they got a taste of like just not having to just run around and take care of children. They get to, you know, finish their education and all this other stuff, right? And they enjoyed that freedom, not having to just be, responsible and tethered to a bunch of children. And she's like, so now, no. It's hard to send us back. So in back of her, there was this green screen. Basically, there was some article because now I'm just telling you, I don't know how true this article is. I didn't investigate, but she put it up there. So this was her sentiment of China is actually their population is shrinking. Women are like, I'm not trying to have these babies. So I just thought it was interesting because I had this conversation with a couple people at work, and there are women there who are like, I don't want children. They've made it clear. These were white women. So now you got Chinese women around the world, like F them kids and F you too. There's a shrinking population. The white women are like, we're not having kids. Black women are like, we're not having kids. And when I reported on the Chinese woman, it was like, F them kids and F you too. You know, there was a whacked out weirdo, aka a wow, in my comments who blamed black women. So I just want you guys to know black women are now responsible for Chinese women on the other side of the world not wanting to have babies. Now, chances are he could have been trolling. But, with the trend of the way things are going, black women are blamed for everything. It was just so interesting. And then I was sitting at my daughter's practice, uh, and as women, we were chatting about some stuff, and we were talking about, oh my gosh, I can't imagine having any more kids. And it's not that we don't love our kids; we're just not about that having like 5 million kids life. Most of them have two. I have four, um, but most of them have two. One woman was surprised recently. She was like, "I'm pregnant." And we're like, congratulations. Now, don't get me wrong. I am very happy with my children, but I get the sentiment. And a lot of men don't understand. They think by them going to work and they come home and maybe they made a couple of bottles or I don't know, whatever, that they did something. And they did. They did. But they want women to take on that burden. They're like, because that's just what they're designed to do. And I'm like, well, maybe women don't want that. Sometimes women just want to breathe. I would definitely say in the United States, I think the reason why women are rejecting this notion of having a ton of kids, it's because we don't have the support mechanisms. You know, you got women who have fertility issues or whatever, and then it's like we tell women we don't want Roe v. Wade, we want the population to increase. We're going backwards in population growth, but then you won't give women the time off. You won't give them the adequate medical care. Or for those who may be having difficulty conceiving, it's so expensive. You make it very cost prohibitive, right? Like, make it like, screw it. There are women who don't have the fertility issues. They're like, why would I want to have children when it costs me so much money, so much childcare? I would have to miss out on my opportunity to pursue my career, and so on and so forth, right? They're like, that's not fun for me. How is that palatable to me? Is that the life I want to live? What about my thoughts? And what about my dreams? What about what I want to do? I don't want to be a mom. And I feel like that should be okay. But anyway, I just wanted to say I thought it was really interesting how I think it was in the air. I don't know if there was a full moon the other day. I don't know if there were wolves that were howling or something. But for some reason, there's been a lot of chatter about not having children. That's not to say everybody has that sentiment, but there's a lot of women who are like, no, there's several women that I interact with who are like, no. And they're not black, they're white. And they're just like, I'm okay. What people don't consider is the fact, like I said, besides the cost, things like women, non-black women, all women, I want you to listen, all women have experienced, and when I say all women, all races of women, they can tell you they've experienced either it was traumas or it's just expensive, maybe there's fertility issues, but women are just like tired. So there are women who maybe grew up watching a bunch of children, whether it was their own siblings or cousins or whatever, or they saw how hard it was for their parents to raise kids, or maybe they grew up a certain way and they're like, I don't want that. They see how expensive it is just to live, just to raise kids. It is a trap. Anyway, I just want to say there was a whacked out weirdo in my comments. I can't remember if it was on the YouTube side or the TikTok side, who was like, see what y'all have done, or something like that. I'm like, y'all, don't blame me. I'm like, if anything, look, China is like 3-4 times the size of the United. I don't even remember what their population is. What is it? 1 billion, 2 billion? The United States is 340 something million or 50 million or whatever it is. And black people represent only 13% of that. Now, if you approximately 60-40 or half that, that's your black woman population. So black women, I was like, so basically what you're saying is black women have the power to influence an entire country, an entire nation of women from way over here. We're such a minority here. Anyway, the whacked out weirdos think that black women are now responsible for what a Chinese woman said. I was like, make it make sense. Just make it make sense. All right, so I think that's it. Let me get off of this app, and y'all go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up is good, but look, let me know what you think. Are we that powerful? Are black women that powerful? Can we single-handedly change China's paradigm of thought on motherhood? All right. You know,